Hey guys, it's Wolverine here. Decided to come out with another little video today. I might come out with another one later today, maybe. It depends. I decided to go ahead and talk over the new AP Top 25 this week. It dropped shortly here about 30 minutes ago. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about it. Released not too long ago. There wasn't really a bunch of major changes in this poll. I mean, besides, of course, a few teams. Oh, yeah, there's a few teams that have dropped 5, 10 spots. Man, one team dropped 9 spots. So, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. We'll go from the top, from number 1 all the way to the bottom. Starting off at number 1, my Tennessee Volunteers remain at number 1. Of course, undefeated, 10-0. Basically, have definitely been looking like one of the better teams in college basketball this year. Of course, our most recent win against Illinois on the road, getting that buzzer beater layup from Jordan Gainey. Most of you already saw that video. That video almost has 100 views. Good Lord. Yeah, Tennessee remains undefeated. Of course, a lot of people are upset with it because, Tennessee hasn't really played the greatest competition. Auburn fans, of course, are upset about it, saying that they should be number 1 because they beat up on better teams than Tennessee. And then, of course, when you tell them that they lost the game, they're like, it was to the number 5 team in the country. I mean, well, when all these teams in front of Tennessee lost, like last week, everyone knew Tennessee was going to be number 1. And now, of course, everybody is wanting Auburn to be number 1 just because they beat up on some lowly teams. I mean, not saying that Auburn's been looking good while doing it. I'm not saying Auburn's a bad team. They're definitely a good team. They're definitely, right now, one of the top 3 teams in the country. But I feel like you can't really punish Tennessee just for winning. I mean, you could probably say, only dropping Tennessee like a spot or 2 isn't really punishing them. But still, I feel like you shouldn't really punish Tennessee for just winning. And Tennessee's, of course, going to be 13-0 heading into January because our next 3 games are against Western Carolina, Middle Tennessee State, and Norfolk State. So Tennessee's going to be 13-0 heading into January before they take on Arkansas. And then after Arkansas, after that is probably going to be Tennessee's biggest test of the season, is against Florida. We do get Florida at home, though. That's definitely good. But yeah, we'll see what Tennessee can do. We'll see what they're definitely made of. We'll see here in a little bit if Tennessee is frauds according to all these people. And, of course, like I said, Auburn at 2 makes sense. They've been looking really good. Their only loss is on the road at Duke, which is understandable. Duke's a hard place to play in basketball. They're, of course, a blue blood. Everybody knows that. It's not a bad loss. And Auburn, of course, has a bunch of good wins as well. So, yeah, it makes sense that Auburn's at number 2. And then Iowa State at number 3. Of course, that's Auburn's best win is against Iowa State. Iowa State's been looking good. What can I say? Iowa State's definitely been looking good. Their only loss is, of course, to Auburn, which I'm pretty sure was close. They were struggling to Omaha for a little bit. I saw that, but of course they then pulled away in the second half. At least you rebounded well, Iowa State. Iowa State's definitely a good team. They're definitely a team to look out for in March. Kentucky comes in at number 4. Kentucky, of course, probably their best win is against Duke. That's probably their best. Yeah, that's their best win of the season so far. They also got another pretty solid win against Gonzaga, who we'll talk about here in a little bit. But yeah, Kentucky, of course, beats their rivals, Louisville. Didn't beat them as good as Tennessee did, though. And I know Kentucky fans are going to say it's a rivalry game, but, I mean, come on. But, yeah, as much as I talk crap on Kentucky, they're a good team this year, as much as I don't like to admit it. They're a good team this year. Coming at number 4, and then at Duke at 5, so a lot of Kentucky fans were, of course, getting upset in the AP poll because, of course, Duke was ranked ahead of Kentucky. But, of course, now they flip-flopped it between Kentucky and Duke, which, not going to lie, it's definitely the better decision. Kentucky has a better record, and they beat Duke. So it makes sense that Kentucky is ahead of Duke. I mean, it is what it is. But Duke, of course, they almost... I mean, Duke, what's their best win of the season so far? Oh, yeah, I think they lost to Kansas. Yeah, they lost to Kansas. What the hell? Who did Duke beat? I know they got a good win here somewhere. Let me look really quick. Sorry, technical difficulties. Oh yeah, they beat Auburn. I'm sorry. I'm just really tired right now. But yeah, they beat Auburn. Of course, that was a good win. Lost to Kansas and lost to Kentucky, which they're close losses. I mean, they're not bad losses. So it makes sense to have Duke at 5. Ahead of Kansas, though, that's kind of shocking. Kansas and Duke have the same record, and Kansas beat Duke. So shouldn't Kansas be ahead of Duke? I mean, they have the same record, and Kansas beat them. But what do I know? Alabama at 6. I know Alabama. I know they of course have a quality win. I mean, they beat Creighton. Yeah, they beat Creighton. And they also beat Illinois. They beat Houston. Lost to Purdue and then lost to Oregon. But those losses ain't looking too bad, though. Oregon only has 1 loss. But the Purdue loss, it ain't really looking that great right now. Purdue lost to A&M, who I know Purdue is, of course, ranked number 12. But, man, Purdue just keeps kind of falling in this top 25. So that Purdue loss definitely somewhat looking worse and worse for Alabama. But yeah, Alabama comes in at number 6. Florida at number 7. They remain undefeated. They're 10-0, just like Tennessee. It made sense to, of course, move Florida up a few spots considering Marquette and Dreyer. It was Marquette and somebody else who lost. It was Gonzaga. Yeah, Marquette and Gonzaga lost. But yeah, here we go. Florida, they don't really have any big wins per se. Let's see. They beat South Florida, beat Jacksonville, beat Grambling, beat Florida State. Is their best win of the season so far against Florida State? Is that Florida's best win so far of the season? Probably. That might be Florida's best win of the season. So, yeah, Florida. I wonder if they were ranked number one, everybody would be mad at Finn. But of course they're not. They're not ranked number one right now. They're ranked number 7, but they're climbing up and up those polls. But Florida has definitely been looking good. They definitely have. They definitely have been looking like a good team. Walter Clayton Jr. He definitely looks like he's really good. Kansas at number 8. Oh my God, that stupid dryer. But Kansas at 8. They're 8-2. They beat NC State. And probably their best win is against Duke. Yeah, that's their best win is against Duke. And they lost back-to-back games. They lost to Missouri, and then they lost to Creighton. Both were unranked. But, of course, they've moved up the polls a little bit, considering some teams in front of them lost. Marquette at 9. Lost to Dayton. Not a bad loss. Dayton's a pretty solid team this year, so not a bad loss. But, man, Marquette, they definitely need to step it up a little bit. Oregon at 10, that's kind of shocking to me that they moved up into the top 10. I mean, it is what it is, but, Gonzaga did lose, and all these other teams lost. UConn moves all the way up. 7 spots, all the way up to number 11. Now, that's crazy. They did beat Gonzaga, though. That was a pretty good win. So, I guess you definitely got to reward UConn for that. A&M comes in at 12, moves up 5 spots after beating Purdue. The SEC is absolutely loaded this year when it comes to basketball. SEC is the absolute best conference this year in basketball. Listen to this. 1 Tennessee, 2 Auburn, 4 Kentucky, 6 Alabama, 7 Florida, 12 A&M. And then there's a little bit more. I guess just one more, but still. And then 13 Gonzaga, of course, lost to UConn. Not going to lie, man. I thought at the beginning of the season, Gonzaga was looking like the best team. But now, they haven't really been playing that hot. I'm pretty sure their losses aren't against bad teams. West Virginia, they did lose to West Virginia. That might not be a great loss. Lost to West Virginia, lost to UConn, lost to Kentucky. Kentucky and UConn are probably quality losses. West Virginia, that's definitely their worst loss right there, is losing to West Virginia. And then Oklahoma drops a spot after beating Oklahoma State. Oklahoma also undefeated. They're 10-0, ranked number 14. So good on Oklahoma. So yeah, the SEC is really good this year. Houston stays at 15. It says they beat Troy. Was their last win. Good on them. Purdue drops 5 spots after losing to A&M. Ole Miss moves up to 17 after destroying Southern Miss. I would hope so. UCLA at 18 moves up 6 spots after beating Arizona. Yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked UCLA isn't ranked ahead of Oregon. Well, I guess Oregon does have one more win. But, yeah. Cincinnati, 8-1. They moved up to 19, 3 spots after beating their rivals Xavier, 68-65. Michigan State moves up a spot to 20. They didn't play this week. Memphis moves up to 21. Or, no, they just stay the same at 21. They beat Clemson, 87-82. So, yeah, good on Memphis, I guess, even though I want them to do bad. Dayton stays the same at 22 after beating Marquette. . Or maybe, I think it means they're new to the top 25. I don't know. Yeah, I think, Memphis and Dayton are new to the top 25. I don't know why it's saying that they stayed the same. But, I mean, they're new. I don't know why this website's not saying that. Yeah, but Memphis at 21, Dayton at 22. San Diego State stays at 23 after beating Cal Baptist 81-75. Michigan drops 10 spots to 24 after losing to Arkansas. But Arkansas, I mean, they're kind of getting better. I'll give them that. I mean, just shows how deep the SEC is this year. The SEC is a really good conference this year in basketball. And then rounding out the top 25 is Clemson at 25, dropping 9 spots after losing to Memphis. But yeah. And then some teams who were left out of the top 25. Mississippi State got dropped out after almost losing to McNeese. Arkansas, Missouri, Baylor, Illinois, Drake, St. John's, Utah State. Utah State, I'm pretty sure, lost votes, even though they're undefeated. That's kind of crazy. Pittsburgh, Maryland, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Georgia, Oklahoma State, Arizona State, Creighton, North Carolina, Penn State, Indiana, Texas, and St. Bonaventure. But yeah, I guess according to these rankings, Tennessee's best win right now, I guess, is what? Against Baylor? Yeah, Baylor, I guess, right now is Tennessee's best win, according to these rankings. Right now, but honestly, which I don't agree with that. I think right now Tennessee's best win is against Illinois because it was on the road, and Illinois I think is actually going to be a pretty good team this year. So yeah, I think Illinois right now is Tennessee's best win. It's definitely either Baylor or Illinois. Those are Tennessee's 2 best wins right there. And then Florida's best win is it's probably against Arizona State. I said it was Florida State, but right now it's probably against Arizona State. But yeah, SEC just absolutely dominating the top 25. And for all the Auburn fans who, of course, are still upset about not being number 1, I mean, just hold on. I mean, you still, of course, got time. We'll find out who the better team is come in January when we both play each other. It's, of course, going to be really tough for Tennessee because it's on the road at Auburn. And the Jungle is not an easy place to play. It is not. It's definitely going to be a hard test for Tennessee. But I will say, though, it's definitely not going to be easy for both these teams. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game when Tennessee and Auburn plays each other. But first off, I'm not really worried about the rest of January. I mean, Tennessee should win the rest of for the rest of December. Tennessee should win their games to be 13-0, and then we got to take on Arkansas, which will probably be our toughest game yet to date, is against Arkansas. So yeah. Hopefully, Tennessee can get to 14-0 and beat Arkansas and head into Florida game undefeated. What if we get Tennessee versus Florida, an undefeated head-to-head matchup? Now that would, of course, bring some eyes. That would put some butts in the seats. But yeah, there's still plenty of basketball to go on. Still kind of too early to determine who the best teams are, but in no particular order, I'd probably say the best teams are probably Iowa State, Tennessee, Kentucky, Auburn, Duke. And that's probably it. And I know those are probably the top 5 teams right now. Yeah. But what can I say? Those teams have been looking really good. And I'll probably also throw Florida up there too. So yeah, I guess I'm going to end the video here. Hope you all enjoyed. I might post another video today. Probably not. And, yeah, I guess good luck to everybody throughout the rest of the season. Remember, don't get upset about these rankings. I mean, there's still plenty of ball to be played. It's only December. And see you guys later.